Peter Parker's train Lego set I wanted to talk about. This one right here. It's really cute. It's really cute. It's super cute. I want to talk about something I was just thinking about, and it has to do with that stinky vaporized spray they smell in the hallway every time I walk out. So because of like a kid, if you didn't catch the last live on this episode, I'm gonna talk about that ketamine treatment that they started advertising because one of my neighbors had mentioned it in the hallway in passing, and my phone picked up on it. So I was just thinking, like, what would be the difference in my life between my life? They've opened the building up to Section 8 housing, right? So Section 8, to the best of my knowledge, gives these people a voucher for a certain amount of rent, and they're supposed to cover the extra. I don't know what the voucher amount is and what their deal is, like if they even get like a discount or a special to come and live here. But I do know that in typical real estate, the upper level apartments cost the most money. And if they are still renting at market but able to use a voucher, the price of rent could probably even be close to what I'm paying, depending on what market is at the time. Supposedly, California rent is coming down, so maybe their vouchers now will cover the full amount of rent if they move out and go somewhere else. But one of the things I wanted to mention was the approval of that ketamine treatment means that that's something that you can probably purchase now with your HSA. Say you have those health savings plans or FSAs, and you have to buy your medical stuff. So basically they've allowed it now so that your drug use can become a tax deduction. And I wonder, like, who is behind passing that? Such a strange thing to think about. Because when I think about like budgeting, I've always, since high school, continuation school, whatever one you want to count, I have done accounting, like my own finances. I've always had a budget, and certain things are considered entertainment and certain things are considered medical, and that's how two different categories of the many categories on my budget. So if something is considered medical, that's a mandatory fixed amount every month. Entertainment is something that will vary depending on how much I get paid and what's available after. That's one of the last categories that gets funded, entertainment. So if, say I don't have that, but say weed was able to be written off, right? That would be, they would not allow it, they legalized it, but can we write it off as a medical expense, I guess is my question. Because seeing that prescription treatment, I'm pretty sure you can write that off as a medical expense. But where are our prescriptions for weed that allow us to save money? When are you going to do that, government? They want to. The other thing I don't like saying two things. Let's stop using don't, negatives, whatever. But the pre-rolls that I have experienced from companies that are approved, like Lowell, I think they are approved to do all of that, their sales legally or whatever. So pretty much if you buy a pack of Lowell's, it's gone through all of the proper certifications, but it tastes like the government has put its hands on it. If you understand what I'm saying, I don't know how many people out there will agree. So if you agree that the Lowell's taste different than like what you're gonna get from the guy on the corner versus the guy at the shop that's really doing it versus the guy at the shop that's fully licensed, like those Lowell things taste funny. Maybe I just have not purchased the right ones. And I don't want to say anything bad about the company, but I think a lot changes once you get your certifications from the government. Similar to like food, another topic we'll cover in today's conversation since it's only 5 minutes in. Additives in food. I went grocery shopping today, and things that make it really easy to eat well. When you set rules and boundaries for yourself and say, these are certain things that I will not eat. So I go in and I'm shopping, and then I find something that I think I'm gonna like, and then I put it in the cart, and then I remember, oh shoot, I have to check the ingredients. Because I don't want to get home and then find out it's gonna make me feel nasty. Like, I'm to the point where I feel so good, I can very quickly taste something that is going to decrease my performance. So checking the ingredients. I remember seeing it somewhere that soy lecithin is not good for you. I didn't read too much into what exactly or why it's not good for you. But that is something, like, I had previously seen a product, acai berry product, that I was interested in, and they have it in like all different forms. It's a liquid drink. They have it as a frozen thing, an ice cream looking type substance, and it's supposed to be used as a replacement for people who drink milk. Soy is one of the things that I've quit because soy has an extra amount of estrogen that may be contributing to the fibroid that I have that's the size of a softball. So as good as it is, it's, as soon as I drank it, I said, oh shit, that's delicious. I did look at the ingredients before I purchased it. I decided I was going to give it a try. But after tasting it, that first kick, that's my brain telling me, ooh, it's got that bad shit in it. And I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it was so good, I know it's bad. So I have to now find a way. I'm going to see if I like acai berry, just like straight up acai berry that I make myself. I don't know, soy lecithin is just an additive that they put in it for keeping it shelf stable and ready to sell. But I do believe that it was in all 3 different versions of the product that I saw. And I wonder if it's going to give me like bitch titties and make my chin hair stop growing and that type of stuff. Like, when you see people out in public who are, or you may be, and you may not know. If you don't know, I'm going to explain why you have bitch titties. Like, you're a man with bitch tits. Look at the ingredients of the food that you're eating. You're likely consuming a good amount of soy. Soy products going to make you look like a female. Ladies with big boobies probably have like soy milk, soy latte, soy. So that also causes hormonal problems if you don't realize, like, your food, everything you eat is so important. The reason a lot of people feel like shit or get depressed or sluggish or slow has nothing to do with what's going on in their head. It may have a little bit, but more so to do with what they're feeding their body that then fuels the thoughts and the functions of it. So nutrition, right? I remember in high school, I know whose parents, I know I have a friend, maybe not a friend anymore, I don't know, but I know somebody who has a parent who is a nutritionist. I think that her sister may have become a doctor. Having that knowledge that there's actually a profession that tells people. Her mom came to, I think I went to it was like that job thing where your parents come to school and talk about their jobs or whatever, and just hearing them talk about it, you understand what the importance is. So I've always known of the importance of the food that you eat, which is, I think, another reason why they cannot gain control over my brain completely. Spreading knowledge about it is a reason they would want me to shut up and stop talking. The more people look at the ingredients in their food, the less controllable they will be once they realize what's making them fat or unhappy. And when I say fat, I mean nasty fat, not like healthy fat. Healthy fat, I'll talk about healthy fat. Healthy fat is a mom who feeds all of her children. If you're able to be fat after doing all of that, happy fucking life, right? most of the time people are so stressed out and they can't even do that shit right. You can't talk about a mom who feeds all her kids and gets to eat too. Um, right? You gotta match. Like if your kid is big and you are not, something is wrong. And if vice versa, if you are big and your kid is not, that may be healthier, I think, because at a certain age you just can't control that shit so well anymore. So there are different levels of health. Just look at people and get them where they're at. Um, I think the word fat should only be associated with assholes. So if you are not an asshole and you hear somebody talk about somebody being fat, it does not apply to you, and you can let them keep going on their way, their miserable ass way. Because I think it is more unhealthy to be too skinny. It is more unhealthy. You're maybe that's a harder one to tell if you're getting all of the nutrition that you need. Fat people is very easy to tell they are getting an excess of something, and likely they're getting everything they need. But there are some people who do not understand nutrition at all and just continue to eat one, like autistic kids or kids who grew up with no parents and nobody to tell them don't eat that or eat this. Me, including me, I'm a sugar junkie. That's halfway explaining my teeth, why my teeth are like this. The other half is a different video. And then being a sugar junkie, like I eat so much sugar that I find it hard to even eat carbs. I don't like carbs. And then protein, all I eat is just straight up protein. Sometimes a lot of my meals will be just straight protein, one straight up protein meal, high protein, low carb, high metabolism. I think carbs slow your metabolism down, if that's what I remember, because you have to break down carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates. Protein is straight muscle building. Some of those things, like dairy, I think is a downfall. Dairy is what makes me get fat in my belly. Dairy is what makes my chin and face look all fat when I'm on my dairy kick. Dairy is what makes baby fucking cows get fat. So dairy is not something. So that's why I was looking at acai as a milk replacement. And I got these things, and instead of getting fat like a baby cow, I'm going to then just become fat like a bitch, like a mama bitch. You know what I'm saying? So soy is estrogen, and depending on who you are, it may not be a better replacement for milk. Everybody's looking for a milk replacement. Drink water. Put the water on your cereal. Friday was not too bad. That movie Friday is not too wrong. Use the fucking water. And maybe that's it for today. Lost my train of thought a little bit. Oh, Epstein. Watching a video. I just finished a video talking about, is Epstein still alive? I left some comments on it. There are notes on Epstein's notes. And what my take on them is, okay, so what I'll say is I think he may be a little bit intelligent but also dumb, and that is similar to how I am. And my thoughts on note taking and what people perceive my notes to be versus what they actually mean. If I'm going to be stupid enough to leave a notebook unattended or out in the open, or if it has the possibility of ever being seen by anybody, my notes are going to be taken in the fashion of what I will call Wednesday. So with that being said, it may be exactly what I'm planning, or it may be code words and keys, and I know that I did it in the version of Wednesday, so I know to reverse switch those code words or keys. So what I write is actually the opposite of what my intentions are. So I don't know if he is has the same kind of mind as me, being a smart dummy, right? Maybe he has experienced trauma enough to make him able to split alters and he can function as a psychopath. Um, but what my take on his notes to himself is, in my psychopathic mind split alter MK Ultra driven trauma split break, is that he is shipping himself to somewhere. I don't know what Q or SA is, right? Nobody does. SA could be sexual assault. Q, maybe Qatar, South Africa. Then he writes Nigeria. And the drawing is of a box. It looked like a shipping box. He maybe we should check major shipments into Nigeria, or major plane movement into Nigeria from the time that he was last seen until today. If, right, who even brings up the thought that he's still alive? But that 1 minute, I'll talk on that. 1 minute is a security camera reboot. I don't think there's anything nefarious about that 1 minute, but that 1 minute can be used as an opportunity by someone who knows the audio visual recording schedule of the camera. And that was one of the things I think he wrote, AVR. So in part of his plan, he knew that the video camera was audio visual reboot. AVR is what that fucking means. In case you want to know on the Epstein notes. So go get him. He's still out there. Maybe. Very possibly. And the person who can solve it is me, which is why my life really is in danger, which is why these people really are outside my door and above me and all around me, constantly talking their shit every day. But I walk forward with faith. If you're watching any of my videos, you may want to start recording and saving them, because there's a possibility that someone will start deleting them. All of my information has been compromised. If you can find my stuff on the dark web, I'm fairly sure. I've gotten alerts notifying me of what information and when it gets posted to the dark web. And it's usually after certain instances that would make somebody like this group of people upset. Adding more to that, I still think that these people are reaching for everything, and they're on their last attempts of freedom. So I don't think it's going to get much better for me, but this may possibly help the next person, or it may help bring justice in the event that I do end up missing, dead, whatever, because I am not planning on any of that on myself. I continue to put food in my refrigerator. They keep getting pissed off. Maybe that's why that girl always has to see what I'm bringing in. She thinks that I'm gonna get depressed and stop eating or something. I eat healthy, heavy. I do my best to, like I was saying, I look at the ingredients in food and I put stuff back that I shouldn't be eating. Contents in my stomach, it shouldn't be any kind of crazy chemicals that are unpronounceable ever. If in that event it's going to be something like candy related that I fucked up on because I cannot help my sweet tooth, things like, I don't even like palm oil. So those are some things that candy is a drug. It's an addiction. That's the worst I'm gonna do to myself. Candy and coffee. I got a bunch of coffee recently too, so we'll see. Right, do you understand? Like, if you are an investigator and you see somebody with fucking just bought 2 months worth of fucking coffee, that person has no intentions of going anywhere. Do you understand? So for at least the next 2 months, you should continue to see videos. My mental state is perfectly fine. I don't think I've ever been happier. I'm watching these people around me literally have crash outs and meltdowns, and I don't know how much of it's acting or how much of it's real. But it's starting to make sense now as more of this Epstein stuff comes out, why they're having crash outs, because like they keep on saying this thing like, we're going down, whole network's going down, something like that. And I don't know how much of that is designed to make me keep talking and being like, haha. I don't want to be like, haha, in my videos anymore. I want you to leave me alone and go away. Get locked up. go have the right thing happen to you. So you can keep talking about how you're going down, it's not going to change how I go about my day. I no longer have the need to feel cocky about this. I'm concerned for my life, so I would like to shut up as much as possible. All of this is documenting for investigation purposes at this point. And then I know some of the things that are going to occur tomorrow are people who are part of this are going to make keyword hintings about investigation. Do, 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 do. And to which I will laugh because I think that your time has yet to come. And if this is intended to make me great, then I'm going to stay on the track that I've been on of honesty. If you feel like this is exposing you, stop doing random bullshit. I only expose people who are doing things in the dark that should be brought to light. I don't feel the need to attack people because of a single mistake that they've made. When I get to the point where I have to lash out about something, it is because it has been repetitive, unnecessary, unexpected, right? And I don't have really much as far as expectations go anymore. Expect the unexpected. Anything can happen. So the things that, if you are to see me in a mental state where I am unable to control my anger, it's likely because I have been pushed or provoked there by somebody who, a handler, or somebody with knowledge of certain triggers. Because I work every day to find a way to turn those triggers off. And I don't know if that is the purpose of this psychotherapy, but I don't think that you can force therapy on a person who is unwilling. And should you do that, it has terrible consequences and results. I think each person has to be ready to go through it, or they need to experience like their lowest low. And I think that who are you to make a judgment about a person's ability to recover, right? That's why I feel bad. I'll always be like, my brother's a felon, but maybe he has the ability to recover. But as far as my experiences with him and my reading of his energy and like the last photos that I took of him, there is still some kind of like a demonic possession over him and his ideas. I don't know if it comes from what he is consuming. He has influenced my mom maybe to start consuming some snacks and stuff that she would not have otherwise done. So, like, we don't eat potato chips in it. If I go there and there's a Costco-sized thing of potato chips there, that's my brother's influence. That's stuff my mom did not used to consume prior to him living with her. So there are just certain things that you have to take care of. Like Doritos are really, let me not go into defaming products, but look at the ingredients in the Doritos and tell me if those look like something that I just described to you, like a person I just described how I would eat. Maybe you might see me. I like those Doritos allspice ones. Some of them, on occasion, you may see me, but when I do, I definitely feel it. It's not something like right now. You want to see here example. Look, making sure all my ingredients are good. Can you see this? This is it. Microbial enzymes. I don't know really what that is, but it has something to do with cheese. And then everything else I can pronounce. And there's nothing that looks like monosodium ditetrohydrochlorinated chloralagi. What's in your belly? Silly stuff. Like, so let's see how long this stays like this. And then as the company grows bigger and makes more money, let's see if they start putting the fucking bullshit in it. But for now, this is a snack that I consider good. This is a snack, and I'm also trying to get away from eating cheese. But this is a snack that I feel like has less effect on me being sluggish. If you want to see what it really is, it's that. It's something you can make yourself if you really want to. So, and this is what I say, it's protein. Straight up protein. So this is all I'm going to be eating, and I did eat like 9 servings in the last 2 days, so my poopy doopy is going to be wookie wookie. Anyway, oh, you want to see nutrition facts too. Right, I gotta stop eating these. Can't control myself. It's so good. But this is way better than some fucking Doritos. The only thing is portion control. You cannot eat these like it's a bag of Doritos. Well, you can. It's going to be a little bit expensive. But that's the cost of health. You're going to eat a bunch of Doritos, your body's going to pay for it, you know? You can only eat a couple of these and then you're like, that was good and now I gotta fucking wait. Doritos are a dopamine satisfier. That's what people eat when they're depressed and shit. Think about everything that 7-Eleven sells, and nothing wrong with it, right? It is a convenience store, so in the name, it's convenience. Give me a minute. What does convenience mean to you? Convenience is time. Convenience is for people who have more money than time. Because if you have the time, you don't need convenience because you got the time for it to be inconvenient so that you can have the highest quality product, right? If you're on like a forward moving path, right? Why would you want something less than if you could do better than? So when you go to a convenience store, think about what you're getting. How convenient is it? What's the opportunity cost? Is it really convenient? How long did you have to work for the $5, $10 that you spent there? Is that really worth it? Peanut butter jelly sandwich is not that bad. We can talk about the bread on that sandwich on another live, maybe right now, if you want to. But a peanut butter jelly sandwich is not that bad. The convenience, making bread is not convenient. So you go and buy sugar bread. Sugar bread is not healthy, but it's convenient. You can get it at the 7-Eleven. You can get it at the grocery store. But if you have more time than money, you will get a bag of flour. You will get, it doesn't take much. You already have salt, you have butter, you have sugar. You need dry milk. You may have to go get dry milk, or you can use a recipe that uses regular milk. You already got milk. If you already got it, you already got it. And then you need 2.5 hours, right? You mix it, 2 hours, bake it, mix it, whatever. And you have a fucking loaf of bread in 2 hours. Or you can go to the store and get it in 2 minutes. But either way you do it, that peanut butter jelly sandwich costs less than a bag of Doritos. Because if you think about how many you could make, you can make 5, maybe 10, depending on how much bread you make, how many loaves, how, you know, what your serving size is. Sandwiches for the same fucking $2.50 that a bag of chips cost. Right? Bread is probably more expensive than that now, but not if you make it yourself. So, if you don't have any money, go get yourself a sack of fucking flour and bake your bread and eat your peanut butter jelly shit. I don't want to see you out there with no fucking fast food talking about you gotta stock because you gotta eat. You don't need to eat that bullshit. And eating is, while it is expensive, you can still eat everything you need to survive pretty cheap. Um, Convenience. Man, I think, oh yeah, Wingstop sounds good, but when I eat Wingstop, I pick out half the fucking shit as unedible, right? I gotta go put that back in the fucking, I gotta cook that one again. I like my stuff burnt. But with that, burnt has carcinogens. And I think a lot of these people that make the food for me and they thought that they was messing my food up, I like my food burnt. That's really how I like it. So it's okay. You burnt it. I'm okay with that. I prefer crispy. Anyway, it is. You don't got to eat out so much. And when you eat out, look at where you're eating out. Like, I like one of my bad things, I like Panda Express. I don't know what the fuck they put in the sauce, but it's something I shouldn't be eating. That's one of the other sources for bad food for me. I don't know what's in the sauce. Places like Chipotle, a little bit more transparent what's in that shit. Um, Kava, delicious. Uh, where else? I have a hard time eating other places because it's too much magic behind the scenes. And what fast food? What did I have the other day? I had Jack in the Box. I'm weak in the knees for Jack in the Box for whatever reason. Jack in the Box might put some shit in their shit, you know, for entertainment purposes only. But holler at me if you hear me. You know what I'm saying? Had to stop drinking the milkshake because I always order a large, and then at the end of it, I feel like that was so unnecessary. Um, and then whatchamacallit? This, oh, that sriracha, honey garlic sriracha sauce. Ooh, ooh, get that, put it on everything. It's like a sweet chili sauce kind of. It's delicious. So get that one. And that's where I think I'm gonna end this tonight. I do eat bad food sometimes, and if I do, those are the places it's gonna be from. Popeyes, I like Popeyes too. Um, but try your best not to eat this shit. I made a little habit tracker, and last week I ate out every single day, and my face feels fat this week. I could feel my face gained about 5 pounds of the food that I ate out and hasn't released it yet. And then I'm gonna go back to my tuna. I might do PBJ. We're gonna do tuna PBJ, chicken, hard-boiled eggs, and just peanut butter. So I was just watching this thing that was talking about peanut butter is another source of lectin, something like that, and you shouldn't be eating it, and it causes holes in your gut. But I will say, I just had this peanut butter stuff, and it's so delicious, and the protein in it helps my mind focus versus when I just eat my regular sandwich, I'll get hungry. I will still get cravings for other things like, oh my gosh, I need to eat something salty, or I'm so hungry, I need a sweet snack. But when I have the peanut butter protein stuff, my brain doesn't do any of that craving. And that will help you get through your workday. If you're having trouble concentrating and you lose focus, eat some protein and change. You don't have to be a fuck up. You can fuck up if you're tired. You can what the biggest fuck up is not taking care of yourself in the morning. Right? So let your ass be tired, but wake up. I wake up naturally, no alarm, except for these motherfuckers upstairs for me doing a little foot stomp every hour from like 3 a.m. But I could put a snooze button on that and I'll go back to sleep. That's part of the MK Ultra as well. That is the sleep deprivation. That is, as soon as I get into a deep sleep, they just jolt me out of it by stomping on the floor, doing some weird shit. Maybe they got a job where they come home at 4 a.m., but they tend to walk usually around times when I had just fallen asleep, and then right around the time I gotta walk out the door. It's the only time they start moving around up there. Schedules are off, really. I rarely ever hear them take a shower. I think I might have heard them take a shower for the first time last week, or at least the first time I heard them really use the water up there. So I really don't know what's going on in this building, what's going on with the world, what's going on with the Epstein files. But I want everyone to know for sure that I'm still building Lego. I just built that one right there, Doc in the spaceship. You see my minifigure on the side right here? Where did he go? Right there, that guy? Yeah, fucking punk rocker. We're gonna take this shit out. Punk rocker with the purple Liberty spikes on this shit. So wherever you're at, let's get these pedo. If I gotta go back to the future or forward, if I gotta transform into Optimus Prime, whatever the fuck you need me to do, Lord baby Jesus said I got this. And I'm out. And one of these days, right, this is so serious that all of my videos that I post very well have the potential to be the last video I ever post, because I could walk out tomorrow and they finally get me. So everything I say in here, when I say for entertainment purposes only, in the event that these videos stop coming, research all of that shit as truth. Like, how do I get out of that? How do I not have this looked into? Oh, the other thing I have to look into is the whole Paul Weiss attorney that had to step down because of his name being in the thing. There's guilt surrounding that step down, because if there was not, he would probably go forward the same way that I'm going forward with everything I do every day. Despite whatever the fuck people tell me everyone is saying about me, I go forward confidently. So, stepping down, it is possible he wants to avoid having the firm's name mixed up in that. It's too late for that, though. So, stepping down implicates, in my opinion, only my opinion, himself and anyone really he's connected to. So let's find out what those connections are. And I have a feeling we're getting closer to leading back to what brings me into this. I didn't even think there was any. Okay, listen, here's these two paths in the fucking forest, right? And I'm watching the Epstein files path over here, and I'm like, this can't possibly be anything connected to what is going on in my life. This is way too crazy far out there. But as I continue, it's like I'm walking backwards on a breadcrumb trail. So as I continue walking backwards on this path, I'm finding out how close they really are. So eventually I'm going to get to the point where the two paths, they connect and they combine, and all of this stuff goes back into the one single path that goes back to the source. Right now I'm flowing upstream in the river, and I have all my paddles, at least for right now. I'm uphill in the stream, I'm swimming hard. And that's what it feels like. Like a salmon going back to his birthplace. That color salmon is going to have a whole new meaning this year. Maybe it might be Pantone color next year. They're going to find a fucking wild salmon color that they're going to put on that shit. Because this is crazy, man. And I don't want to associate Legos with this. I do think that similar to The Simpsons, Legos is like playing around with their ability to predict some of this crazy shit. Like the Stranger Things release, this Viking ship. I gotta go look and see if it's a new Viking ship coming out. If it's a new Viking ship coming out, man, Lego, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Alright. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm gonna go eat something. Have a good night. They gotta keep track of what I eat, so I'm gonna hear some foot stomps and stuff. I'm gonna have clam chowder tonight. I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna go wash the bowl out, and I'm gonna go turn the little soupy cooker thing on, and I'm gonna have some clam chowder. I do have some crackers. I don't know how old they are though, so I might just throw those out. But I'm gonna have some clam chowder. Alrighty. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Peace, blessings. Like, share, subscribe, because this shit is getting so weird. If I could draw you a picture, I might. Oh, okay, I will. Before I get off, because I do like using this little rocket booky thing. This rocket booky thing. I don't know. Is Sam Altman related to Rocketbook? Did he have anything to do with Rocketbook? Going down like a flaming thing. Oh, other names is Brad Karp from Paul Weiss. So that's one place I won't be applying for a job at. That's for sure. The trauma therapist Randy Kogan, I need to research. I think I may like to talk to that person. The photographer, pedophile photographer, sorry, PDF photographer. See, I can't associate the name. This may be a different person. Here, scratch that. This lady who takes pictures of nude, I was told, teenagers. Katie Grannon. And then thinking about the Society of Not Told Truth, they got, what's his name, Epstein, arrested, and gave them the opportunity to kill him or make it so he disappears but functions from somewhere else and does the same shit still. I already talked about how the 1 minute camera reset is long enough to cover up foul play. And what else are my other notes? That's a personal note. That's a shopping list. That's a work note. Textbook makers. Oh, let's get into these ones. Okay, these are some of my movie notes. Oh no, this is a whole nother topic. I wanted to finish this today. My notes are so interesting. I gotta go forward and backwards. And Freud is the inventor of cocaine. Remember that. He did that a while ago. This stuff all has ties to eugenics. Textbook makers, listen. Textbook makers. McNally, I think it was. Rand McNally, and there's another one out there. Historically, they have been political or social groups that possibly included some of the Masons. The history of education, U.S. education, is supremacist, right? The people who write the books, control the narrative, may have some of the same relationships or principles or ideas as the people who control mass media, i.e. Hearst. The people who control the media control the cover-ups, control the people who move up, control the people who get destroyed. Stories get buried. You might think you are talking to a reporter to get your story out there, and the whole time the reporter is just like giving you a receipt for the transaction, and they're going to bury it to make sure nobody ever hears about it, right? But then if you go back in the archives, because they archive their stuff so well, when something does happen to you, they can be the first to be like, we told you so, or we knew, or look at what we have on this person. So be very careful with the media. The media, like, when you think about TMZ, what is TMZ? TMZ is a bunch of paparazzi, no? TMZ is like lawyer-educated paparazzi, right? So lawyer-educated paparazzi is the first place somebody would go to control the media. If they want their album to sell and they are involved in a minor scandal and they know that they have a person at that news media outlet that can help control the narrative and get them more album sales or more looks on whatever the fuck that thing is, what is a little bit of swerving while you're driving? What is a little bit of, you know, like some of the stuff is minor, some of the stuff is major. In the end, everyone's going to be happy when they find Nancy Guthrie's mom, right? Fingers crossed, that's what happens. Let's hope that's what happens. It wasn't the same story for Celeste. I don't know if she was a ward of the state, but being reported a runaway, puts her on a list that makes her eligible for corruption, scandal, fraud, death. So the world is not, the safety is an illusion. Everything is dangerous. Walking outside, you can meet the wrong person and not even know it. You can think you got the greatest job in the world and not realize that you are working with some of the most evil people humankind has ever seen. And that's where I'll end it for tonight.